In this episode of Pop Culture Weekly, I talk with 7-time Grammy winner Mark Ronson. Then I talk with the cast of Schmigadoon, including Kristin Chenoweth, Krakowski, and more. Let's go!
Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon from iHeartRadio. Your pop culture news, views, reviews, and celebrity interviews on all the movies, TV, music, and pop culture you crave weekly. Here's Kyle McMahon.
Hello, and welcome to episode 75 of Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I, of course, am Kyle McMahon, and I'm singing today because I am interviewing the cast of Schmigadoon. And if you don't know, I'm obsessed with that show. It's on Apple TV Plus, and it is so funny. It is a comedy musical, but it's not like your typical musical, and it's just hysterically funny, and you got to watch it. I'm also interviewing Mark Ronson. Mark Ronson, 7-time Grammy Award winner, including Producer of the Year, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Album of the Year. You know, he is the genius producer behind songs like Uptown Funk, Shallow with Lady Gaga, Amy Winehouse, the Back to Black album, Adele. I mean, this guy is incredibly talented, incredibly smart, and I am so glad that I get to talk to him about his brand new docuseries on Apple TV Plus called Watch the Sound with Mark Ronson. Seriously, guys, this is an amazing episode. If you notice, I keep breaking into song because I'm so excited about Schmigadoon. So, wow, okay, I'm a little weird today. So, in any event, I am so glad you're here with me today. I really do appreciate you listening and you guys rating and reviewing the show on Apple Podcasts, and that really, really, really helps. So please rate it, review it on Apple Podcasts. I truly appreciate it. May even give you a shout out here. And keep talking to me on social. We've been having some great conversations on Twitter, especially about, various things. We were talking about Halloween Kills the other day, and hopefully that doesn't get delayed again this year because of the pandemic. So, just keep in touch with me. I love you, and I'm here for you. And, well, you're not here for me. You're here to listen to the interviews, but that's okay. I still love you anyway. So we have a lot of great content today. Let's start with the interview with Mark Ronson. And let me just explain what Watch the Sound is about. It's really, really great. Mark kind of explores the intersection between technology and music and what that means today. So each episode is on a different, technology, really. And it explores that with one of his favorite artists. So Paul McCartney's on there, Questlove, T-Pain. And, there's an episode on Auto-Tune. There's an episode on 808s. It's just an awesome show, whether you're a fan of pop music or a musician or interested in the music business. It's really, really cool. And then, of course, at the end, well, I guess it's not of course because this is unknown unless you've seen the show. At the end, they create a song using that technology. So it's really awesome. I really love it. And I think you will too. So having said that, let's get into the interview with the one and only Mark Ronson. Hey, Mark, thank you so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. How are you doing? That's a great shirt.
Oh, thank you. Icon.
Oh, actually, I mean, then the shirt over it. So it's
this
the
one.
Shirt over the T-shirt. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So, first of all, congratulations on the docuseries. I love it, especially, as a music lover. It is a real inside the brain of artists sort of deal, and I love it. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Of course. And, for me, your work from Valerie to Uptown Funk, Electricity is probably my absolute favorite of yours, to Shallow. It's been a soundtrack to so many people's lives. Why was Watch the Sound? Why was it important to you to kind of peel back the layers, if you will, into your process in many ways?
I think because as much as I make music and that is my day job, like I'm just as much of a fan of other people's music as I probably consider myself somebody who makes it. So the idea of getting to go talk to everybody from the BC Boys to Tame Impala to McCartney to Charlie XCX about sound and music and why they do what they do, and like you said, peeling back the layers of it is super exciting to me. It was when the idea came from Apple, and they came to me because they liked this TED talk that I'd done on sampling, and I was like, oh cool, they want to do this. This isn't just like some kind of plastic show where they want me to bring in my famous mates, so to speak, and like we just talk about music. Like this is going to be cool and about tech and about auto tune and synthesizers and drum machines and the things that I truly believe have like revolutionized music and make it interesting. So that was the thing behind it. So it's really as much about them and DJ Premier and Questlove and their process as it is about mine. Like sometimes I'm just there as a fan and a conduit to just ask questions.
And what was the most surprising thing that you found through this, project, through this discovery?
I mean, there were so many. I mean, there was definitely a moment when I was, DJ Premier is one of my heroes. He's my favorite, like, beat maker of all time. And we were in his studio and he starts making a beat. And I'm not sure if he's ever done that on camera before. And I realized that he doesn't listen to the metronome while he's making the beat, which is crazy because everybody listens to the metronome. It's like how you know where to put the beat in when you're programming the thing. And it suddenly made so much sense to me why his sound is that way. And then there's this amazing composer and synth player named Susan Shiani. And in the synthesizer episode, she made all the soundtrack for all the 80s Coca-Cola commercials, like when the top comes off and it goes plop and you go glug 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 and like fills in the glass. Basically, they didn't sound good enough, the real life sounds, so she made them on a synthesizer for them. So like all those sounds and all those things that I like heard from my whole childhood that I thought was like the real deal was actually from this woman and her studio.
That's pretty incredible. That it's amazing the process that goes on behind the scenes that so many people, I would say most people, never see or even hear of, which is one of the reasons that I love this series so much. Each episode is broken up, auto tune and 808s and sampling. What do you think is the biggest change in music, the biggest technology mover that changed modern music?
I think all of these things have really defined their eras. I think certainly the era that we're in right now, certainly auto-tune is the most defining probably sound of like, Simon Reynolds is this amazing kind of music historian. He says it in the show. He's like, when people look back on the 21st century, they're going to look and like auto-tune will be the most kind of definitive sound, certainly for now. Like maybe something's going to happen in 10 years. And, I'm talking to T-Pain, who is obviously the first, auto-tune singer. And T-Pain's, he's a really great singer without it. He doesn't need it, but he says something really beautiful in the episode. He's like, I didn't want to sound good. I wanted to sound different. So T-Pain in some ways is like the Chuck Berry of the 21st century. Like he's the guy that first did this thing, and like anytime a new technology comes out, at the beginning there's going to be haters and people that say like, no, it's better the old way. And T-Pain for sure had to deal with his share of haters, just like Gary Newman did when he put Cars out, with put synths into rock and roll music. So it's amazing talking to these people and realizing that at one point, these things that now we look at as being very normal and we've gotten quite used to, at one point, people were like, this is terrible, this is going to ruin music. And like now they're just the sound of what we do and what we love.
I love that. And you spoke about T-Pain and the haters that he's gotten. And that's been as recent, as in the last month or so, where, Usher, a friend of his, had made a comment, and T-Pain was seemingly very hurt by that. From what he said, it seemed like his point was that it's just like any other tool that you use for music, whether it's a guitar or auto tune, it is a tool to make the art that I'm trying to make. And I thought that that was a great, response to that, because it does get a lot of hate for whatever reason. But you know what? It also sells. It's just an interesting duality, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think, also T-Pain says in the episode, he's like, the person who's going to innovate music might not know how to play guitar or play any instrument at all. And these tools are there to help people. And as the tools get more advanced, they can help somebody get a wonderful melody out of their head that they might not be able to express otherwise. And, I 808s and Heartbreaks by Kanye was probably the first thing with autotune that I really like, made me rethink and be like, this is great. And yes, Kanye never pretended that he could sing, but Love Lockdown might not have been possible without the autotune, but like they're amazing melodies and it's an incredible song. And like we're better off for the fact that some technology came along that enabled Kanye to like deliver that song. And it's people like Travis Scott and stuff. Like Travis Scott has a really nice voice, but like that auto tune and that sound that he does, it's so him. It's this amazing thing that's pushing music forward.
Absolutely. And 808s and Heartbreak, by the way, is one of my favorite albums of all time. And as you said, it would not be the same album without, the vocoder. It just is definitive to that album in so many ways. So for the series, you worked obviously with a wide range of different artists and sat down and spoke with them, and that kind of reflects your career as well. You've done dance and EDM and pop and some rock stuff, and you've been all over the map. Is it important for you to explore, as you did in the series, different genres and not limiting yourself to I'm just going to be in the DJ space or,
Yeah. Well, definitely in this show, it was really important to really touch all the genres, because if we're going to make a show for Apple that's really about music, even if it's sort of through my lens, we really have to cover a lot of ground. And even with something like distortion, I'm not really as known for like my hard rock. I've worked with some bands, Queens of the Stone Age and stuff like that, but really I'm not going to get up on TV and pretend that that's my wheelhouse either. But I think that being curious about it and just going to these people and being like, I'm not an expert, but like, tell me about this amp. Dave Grohl talking about Nirvana and like how he used to know when the chorus was coming in a Nirvana song, because Kurt would never write out the arrangements. Dave would just have to look as Kurt's foot got closer to the distortion pedal, and when he saw he was about to stamp down on it, he's like, that's the chorus, and he'd start playing heavier. Like those stories are like incredible. But as for me and my own career and why I have tried a lot of those things because I really did grow up loving all those different kinds of music. I think that, if I was going to be really honest with myself, there's probably some that I'm not as good at and probably shouldn't do again. But I definitely, the curiosity to try it is always going to be there.
And has this series made you a better musician, a better songwriter, producer, artist?
I think there's been some things that have been challenging, that have challenged me in the show, that have been interesting. And I think, for each episode we make a song. So for the autotune episode, I was like, okay, well, if the whole point is that autotune means anyone can sing, then I'm going to try and sing this song and see what happens. And I think anytime you're around really amazing creatives, like some of the best to ever do it, and you're listening to them, somehow that's going to filter in subconsciously and make what you do better. So hopefully I've learned some things that will make my own music better.
Awesome. Thank you. The series is incredible. I can't wait for everybody to see it, and I can't wait to see what you do next as an artist as well. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks so much, Kyle. Thank you.
Guys, I interviewed Mark Ronson, okay? He is, as a musician for me, used to be with a major label and did the pop thing. He is like cream of the crop, one of the top producers and songwriters of all time. So it was a big deal for me, personally for me and professionally, to interview Mark, and I'm so glad he was so gracious. By the way, did you notice that I said the vocoder instead of auto-tune? We're talking about auto-tune. I'm thinking about auto-tune, and then I say vocoder. What an idiot. But that's okay. Mistakes happen. We kept rolling with it. I didn't even realize it until afterwards. And Mark was gracious enough to not correct me. I mean, he could have. I wouldn't have cared. I probably would have laughed at myself. But in any event, he did not correct me. But I meant to say auto-tune, not vocoder. They're two different things. All right. So the next segment of the show is all about Schmigadoon. That was a little number that I came up with just now, actually. If you couldn't tell. I'm sure you couldn't. But, okay. I literally am obsessed with Schmigadoon. It's a series on Apple TV Plus. Keegan-Michael Key, who, love him. Cicely Strong, love her. It's produced by Lorne Michaels of SNL, which is where Cicely's from. The music is by Cinco Paul. It's also executive produced by Barry Sonfeld. I mean, can you get any more A-list already? And then the cast, besides Keegan, Michael, and Cicely, is Fred Armisen, Jaimie Camil, Kristin Chenoweth, Dove Cameron, Ariana DeBose, Alan Cumming, Jane Krakowski, Martin Short. This is an all-star cast. Anna Harada. I mean, it's just so freaking good. I watched not the pilot, but the first episode kind of I don't know what to expect because the trailer is insane. And I didn't know if it was taking itself seriously or was purposefully insane or what. It is purposefully insane, and it is hysterical, and it is awesome. And it's one of my favorite series of the year by far. I was just nonstop laughing, and I just binged the entire series. And now I am talking to the cast, including Jane Krakowski, Kristin Chenoweth, Ariana DeBose, and Jaimie Camil. So I just can't wait for you to watch the show and then talk to me about it. Watch these interviews. Talk to me about it. Let's do it. All right. We are going to start with Ariana DeBose. You may know her from a little show called, Hamilton? She literally originated the bullet in Hamilton. That's who Ariana is, okay? She's a trailblazer. She also was on a little show called So You Think You Can Freaking Dance. I mean, it wasn't called Freaking. I added that part. But I love that show. She's a dancer. She's a singer. She is an actress. She is super talented and such a sweet soul. I literally can't stand it. So, in any event, let's talk with Ariana about her role in Schmigadoon. How are you? Thank you so much for talking with me.
I'm so well, Kyle. Thank you for talking with me.
Of course. So I love Schmigadoon, absolutely love it. And your character for me is such a bright light in the series. And I mean, the series is full of, good feelings and all, but your character especially just gave me such a happy, joyous feeling. What was it like to play her?
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so glad Emma made you feel that way. It was a joy to play her. It's a joy to play someone who's, really just out in the world, trying to do the best she can, trying to make a difference in her community. I loved that she was an educator. My mom is a teacher. She teaches eighth grade social studies. And this felt like such a nice ode to her because there's so many elements of Emma Tate that are inherently very much my mother. No nonsense, but so good with kids, like inspiring them to want to be better without them even realizing what she's done. But Emma's incredibly grounded. And after a while, I sort of looked at her as if she was like the every woman, the every woman that you wanted to be around, which was fun. It was nice to play someone that you, or at least as an artist, you believe is likable.
Absolutely.
Lovely.
And yeah, for sure. And, and you like hit the nail on the head. She's somebody like I want to hang out with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
it's like you never know what she's going to say,
right.
know? I love that.
and she might break into song,
Exactly. And I'm of course I'm over here like, yeah, girl, come on, sing me a song. Let's go.
And as somebody that has a background in theater, how cool is it to do a series like Schmigadoon, which is kind of an ode to so many, musicals?
Oh, it's great. I think we're seeing a resurgence of the movie musical, of the small screen musical. And there's, in my belief, always a reason for that, right? When society is in need for a good bit of healing, you see musicals popping up everywhere, right? Like at the end of World War II, boom, old Hollywood musicals, like that was the time. And it's really nice. We're coming out of, well, hopefully coming out of a global pandemic. And I think there's a good bit of healing that we need as a group of people. And what better way to do it than through music? And Schmigadoon is so exciting because it's actually funny, like Lorne Michaels and, the Lorne Michaels family are bringing you sketch comedy, quote unquote, at its best within this incredible vehicle. And, I'm just so lucky to be amongst a group of Broadway icons and comedic icons alike, telling this really cool story, ultimately about how we treat each other, acceptance, inclusivity, and that change is a really good thing and it's necessary, right? Like, I think it's just really cool to see a musical series be able to accomplish all of those things whilst still being a musical.
Absolutely. I am changing this, but I've never seen a Broadway show. And then over the quarantine, I know. And then over the quarantine, I, kind of ended up in a YouTube hole of, rabbit hole of cool performances and stuff. And then when this came, I was like, if you love musicals, if you love comedies, if you love great storytelling, no matter what it is, this series just hits all the boxes and I love it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you literally hit the nail on the head. There's something for everyone in this. If you love SNL, Cecily Strong holding down the fort, Keegan-Michael Key, that guy, he's like the greatest. I mean, we barely got anything done because we were busy laughing on set all the time. It was awesome. But then you have, Kristin Chenoweth coming through, bringing you absolute musical excellence. And who doesn't love Alan Cumming? I mean, I don't know a person who doesn't. He just sort of is a magical unicorn. So there is something for everyone. And I think, people from all generations can find a reason to love Schmigadoon. Just makes you feel good, right? Feels like a hug.
It really does. And a much needed hug at that. Ariana, thank you so much. You are a delight. And I can't wait for the world to see all of Schmigadoon. Thanks for speaking with me.
Of course, my pleasure. And let's get you into a theater, an actual Broadway theater really soon, my friend.
I'm on. I'm down. Thank you. Bye. How amazing is Ariana? Such a sweet person, so talented. I cannot wait for you to see her performance, if you haven't yet, in Schmigadoon. I just keep singing because I'm so obsessed with this show. And if, as you heard me say, and I think I say it to everybody I interviewed, I've never seen a Broadway show, which is insane because I'm in New York all the time. I'm in the entertainment business. I've interviewed plenty of Broadway stars, but I've never been to a Broadway show. Crazy. But anyway, Ariana is incredible. As soon as you see her performance, if you haven't yet, talk to me. We got to talk about it. She's so cool, and I love her. Oh, and by the way, she plays in the upcoming Steven Spielberg's West Side freaking Story. Okay? West Side Story. I've never seen a Broadway show on Broadway, and yet I know how big of a deal that is. West Side Story, Steven Spielberg, and she stars in it. Oh, crrr. Okay, that was awful. Oh, crrr. I should have, you know what? If I was smart and talented and had the foresight, I would have done all of this in song. I would have thought about this earlier, but I always procrastinate. I'll do anything instead of what I'm supposed to, especially to master things I haven't learned yet. Okay, well, all right. So, next up on the Schmigadoon ride is Jaimie Camil. So, first of all, for some reason you don't know who Jaimie Camil is. His full name is Jaime Frederico Said Camil Saldana da Gama. That's a lot of names, and that's really freaking cool. But he goes by Jaimie Camil. Jaime, of course, was in Jane the Virgin, which he was nominated twice for 2 Critics' Choice Awards for Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. Heartthrob, you know, everybody loves him. And, by the way, an incredible guy. So, in Schmigadoon, he plays Doc Lopez, which, well, let's just get into our interview. Here is Jaimie Camil. Jaimie. Thank you so much.
What's up, Kyle?
How are you? How you doing?
Fine, and you, brother?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome.
I gotta say, I absolutely love Schmigadoon. It is so incredible, and you know, it's a comedy, it's a drama, it's a musical. It's just so awesome, and you really shine in it. So kudos to you for that,
Dude. Thank you, man. And I'm so thank you for saying this, because people think that, well, some people might think that you have to be a theater geek to understand the show, and not at all. Actually, I love the fact that Keegan makes fun of musicals, which is brilliant. But yeah, you are right. I mean, the show is full of music and also good writing and dramatic moments and comedic moments. So it's an all around well written show for the whole family. And I'm glad you pointed that out. Yes, thank you.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that, because I've never been to a Broadway show. That's going to change this fall. But so for somebody like me who, you know, has never been to a Broadway show, I mean, and I loved every single second of it. You know, it's really a testament to Schmigadoon. So
Exactly. That's it. I mean, thank you, Kyle. Exactly. That's it. Okay, on to the next. Kyle, yes, of course. Kyle, you're right. You don't have to love music. You love musicals. It's an incredible plus, obviously, right? But if you are not into musicals or at all, this show is great. It's great. You know, Keegan is brilliant. Cecil is brilliant. Finally, Doc Lopez, my character, will start to play on episode 4, 5, and 6, along with Ariana DeBose's character, because we represent, as you know, the love triangle, or the possibility of a new relationship for Keegan and Cecily. But also, I'm sure you notice that all the Schmigadoonians, we are like a mirror to Keegan and Cecily's characters, like fault of personality or challenges or whatever. And I love that about the show, that it has so much layers, so much more than just like, oh yeah, corn pudding. Like, it's way more than that, right?
And by the way, that is a super catchy song that I just randomly sing, you know, for no
My
reason.
wife is about to kick me out of the house, man. You know, my Elena, my daughter, 9-year-old, and my son, we love the song, and we start singing and doing the tan 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 tan, you know, the choreography. And my wife is like, one more. You play that freaking song one more time, you are all going to sleep in a hotel. So because we're gonna be playing, I already made some reservations. basically.
I love it. And your character is really shines.
Thank you,
And
man.
has an absolutely powerhouse moment as somebody who has been on stage and screen and theater. How is that for you to kind of wrap all of these things into a character like Doc?
Man, thank you for your kind words. I just love the show. It was challenging. We shot it during COVID, October, November, December. So we had to follow all the COVID protocols, and it was amazing, and we were all safe and everything, and we pulled it off. I mean, we did it, but we had limited rehearsals and whatever. I mean, but forget about my character. Did you see Ariana DeBose's number in the school? It's dude, or Kristin Chenoweth continuous shot while she's singing Tribe and Tribulation. I mean, my fellow castmates, I mean, they really had to really rehearse, because yes, I do have my moment and I sing with Cecily and I dance and whatever, but the really, really power numbers of the show, you won't let me lie, are Ariana DeBose's number and Kristin Chenoweth number. And of course, every single dance the ensemble does for the show, which is just beyond belief. Chris, our choreographer, did an amazing job with that.
Yeah, it really I just can't say enough good things about it. And for you as a fan on the other side of it, how was that like on the fan side to be a part of this great ensemble?
Kyle, you have no idea, man. First of all, I devour the scripts. I'm like, I want more and more and more. What do you mean 6 episodes? We should have 8 or 10. But I just devour the episodes. And when we walked for the first time into the set, it's so beautiful, man. I mean, we do have a lot of blue screen, and to do the deepness of the set. But the set is there. Like what Keegan says, the fake trees are there. The fake plants are there. You can touch them and see them. And our set designer did such a great job with the set. And do you notice we have an Apple store, like an actual Apple store? They don't have the iPhone 12 though. They have like green apples, red apples. It's the same, but a different kind of Apple store. But all the attention to details and everything, it was just delicious.
Such an awesome guy, and he's incredible in Schmigadoon. And by the way, just some fun facts. He speaks 4 different languages: Spanish, English, Portuguese, and French. And he splits his time between LA and Mexico City, and he has a model wife and 2 kids. Super awesome guy, super awesome performer. All right. Thank you, Jaimie. Next up in our Schmigadoon press tour, Jane Krakowski. And Jane is so freaking funny. I love her in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She was incredible in 30 Rock as Jenna Maroney. She's been on Robot Chicken, BoJack Horseman, A Christmas Story Live a few years back, Curb Your Enthusiasm. She, of course, hosts Name That Tune as well. And that's just TV. On stage, which was really where she started, on Broadway, she was in Starlight Express, Funny Girl, 9, for which she won a Tony, Guys and Dolls, Xanadu, Beauty and the Beast. She's just freaking a powerhouse. By the way, besides that Tony that she won, she's been nominated for 4 Emmys for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for 30 Rock. And I love her as Jacqueline White, or Jacqueline White, in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. My mom and I, when my mom was going through chemo, would watch that show because it was just so funny, and it made us laugh so much. And I have Jane as one of the people to thank for that. So, without further ado, I turned into a French character for this one. Without further ado, without further ado, without further ado, I present to you now my interview with Jane Krakowski. Krakowski. Thank you so much for speaking with me, Jane. I really appreciate it.
Hi, Kyle.
So first of all, I love the series, and I can't wait to get into that. But you have such a long credit list. I mean, you such varied roles, and it's so long. In fact, I think there's an intermission on your Wikipedia. But then you go to something like Schmigadoon, which kind of gives a references to all of these various, classic musicals. How fun is that for you as somebody, who has done so much varied work, particularly in, theater?
Well, Schmigadoon is a project that is near and dear to my heart. It comes to the beginning of my career and where sort of the home base of my career of musical theater. And then once I met Cinco Paul, who created Schmigadoon, it got even further enhanced with his love of musical theater. So to me, I would have been the perfect demographic to watch Schmigadoon, and now I feel so lucky that I'm actually in Schmigadoon, especially as Cinco added in his very modern, humorous take on the world of musicals and entering the town of Schmigadoon.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I've actually never been to a Broadway show, and for the quarantine.
Wait, what? We have to stop this conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
And well, to be honest, through the quarantine, I kind of went on a YouTube binge and saw all these cool clips of various shows, and I'm like, okay, and when it reopens, we got to do that. And so it was very cool to see all these references and your character especially just kind of comes in and sets everything ablaze and then just kind of goes out. And is that do you like that, like just coming in and making this big huge splash?
Well, yes, when someone like Cinco Paul asks you to be a part of it and then writes you an amazing 11 o'clock number in his series, yes.
And
that world is so fun for me, and the character was so delicious, and then to get this wonderful little number that takes you by surprise, you don't really see it coming. And for me, like getting to do Chris Catelli's choreography in that car while driving, and the sense of humor that she's doing an entire dance number in a car and no one's driving the car, but it's all okay because it's from that golden age of musicals where the background just keeps moving as if we're driving. I mean, to me, that's every bit of the sense of humor of that, and the wink, it's all where I live and what I love to do.
And I loved it as a viewer. With each new line, in the number, I just kept laughing hysterically, more and more as, as you said, first you're kind of driving and then it's like one hand's off. And I was hysterically cracking up over the whole thing.
I think Schmigadoon is a wonderful show for people to discover while we're waiting for live theater, and especially Broadway, to fully come back. I know we're opening up slowly, and I'm not sure when theater will get to everyone's hometown, but as we're waiting, Schmigadoon is the perfect show to watch while you're longing to get musical theater back into your heart, and you can do it right from your own living room until we're all able to be back together again.
It really is such a great show. And, and that was kind of the icing on the cake for me, that I'm like, okay, you know what? I enjoyed every single moment of all 6 episodes. And, I now I want to go. So I think mission accomplished.
That's great. That's so great.
Yeah. And so finally, do you, for something like this, as a fan of theater, how is that for you, to kind of come and do this, as you said, like an 11 o'clock number in this great series? On the fan side, how is that for you?
A total treat. And as a fan, I also was very thrilled to be working with the best of the best in our world, with Kristin Chenoweth, with Alan Cumming, with Ariana DeBose, with Cecily Strong, with Keegan-Michael Key. Everybody in it is a person who could knock out their showstopper and bring it on home. And for me, that was a joy to get to work with, to admire, and also put pressure on me to have to deliver mine as well. And I love all of that.
and deliver it you did. Jane, thank you so much. I can't wait for everybody to see. And thank you for speaking with me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. I'll see you at your first Broadway show, hopefully.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.
Hysterical. Absolutely love her. She is so freaking funny, so talented. And by the way, her character in Schmigadoon is a freaking whirlwind. I can't tell you, but when you watch it, which you will because it's so good and you trust me and it's hysterical and you will love it, you are just going to die at her incredible performance that I think is going to net her another Emmy nom. So, and quite likely the win. So, all right. And finally, we have one interview left. Just one interview left. And that is nobody else but Kristin Chenoweth. Kristin Chenoweth. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Of course. How are you, darling?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. And I've got to say, well, first of all, your entire career, but Schmigadoon is absolutely so awesome. And you are just a powerhouse in it. What is it like for you, on the fan side? Because obviously you're a fan of theater. What's it like for you as a fan to be, in this world, which is such an ode to so many shows?
Oh, you said it so perfectly. It is a love letter to music theater, which is obviously a milieu that I love. I loved that he paid homage to Music Man, to Oklahoma, to all of our favorites. I think that our writers, who also did the music, really nailed it. I mean, they're just like when Cecily does Do a Deer, Do Re Mi, and does her version as the character. I just love it's called Schmigadoon for a reason. And I remember hearing about it. Barry Sonnenfeld called me. I was in Palm Springs. We are in the height of the pandemic. This is pre-vaccination. And I thought, I don't know how I feel about going to another country. I'm nervous. And then he said, you're going to do Tribulation, which is an ode to trouble from Harold Hill's Music Man, in the Music Man, 18 pages, and you're going to do it in one take. And I went, I'm in. He knows me so well. He knows me so well, Kyle. So that's how he got me. And also the Cecily's name got me because I thought, I know she's such a great comedian, but in this show, she's the heart. And without the heart, my character none of our wacky characters could exist. So she's proving to the world that she is a fantastic actress. And that's what I'm really most proud of that, to be honest.
I love that. And, it's, I think you might have the wordiest number in musical history. I mean, how did you do that?
Thank you. Okay. It's called 14 Days of Quarantine, Kyle. It's called absolutely. Am I allowed to say batshit?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I went batshit in my hotel room. Next door is Alan Cumming. I woke up like every hour on the hour going, we've got tribulation, my good sir. We've got tribulation and Schmigadoon. Look down there. Do you see what I see? And he would bang on the wall at 3 a.m. like, shut the fuck up, Kristin. Excuse my language. But we are so close. We're brother and sister. We're very, very close. So he and I, and he just, poor guy, but I just practiced it all the time so that by the time we got on set, remember we had very little rehearsal because we're in the pandemic, right? So I didn't want 1 hour, 1 second wasted on me. And I had a few hours rehearsal with Sonnenfeld and the camera A and the chorus, and we did it. And not only am I proud of it, but I like to challenge myself still. And once this puppy airs, I'm putting it in my own concert. Noah Wiley once told me he had a long monologue about medical stuff once, and he still can quote it. And I plan on doing Tribulation till I leave this planet.
I love it. And, I've never, but believe it or not, I've never been to a Broadway show. I hope to change that in the fall. But
You better.
I feel like I want to live. I really do. I really do. I want to.
You're coming to mine. You're coming to mine. Yes.
I
Yes.
absolutely will. I absolutely will. And, I feel like I could live in Schmigadoon. I mean, do you think you could?
I didn't know I wasn't. Literally when I read it again, I was like, how do you say no to Schmigadoon? You don't. It's like, it's not just a love letter to what we do as musical theater artists. And I'm lucky enough to get to do all kinds of different work, right? But when it's done well, Kyle, and I'm saying, when it's done well, it just is the best thing ever. And that's what I think. And I'm sorry if this sounds I think that our producers and our director and our cast, I think we were successful. And I think Schmigadoon is coming, every time I say the word, I think Schmigadoon is coming out at a time when we really need it, if I may say so, sir. It feels like we need that. We need it. We need to laugh at the absolute absurdity of it.
I think you nailed it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. You are an icon and a delight. And I will see you at your show in the fall.
You better come. You better come backstage and introduce yourself to me.
I absolutely will. I
Okay.
promise you. Thank you
Bye,
so
babe.
much, Kristin. Bye. I am in love with her. First of all, I'm now really excited to go see her show. I'm super excited to go see her show, actually, because first of all, it's Kristin freaking Chenoweth. And secondly, it's Kristin freaking Chenoweth. Okay? Stage icon, stage of screen or what's it called? The star of stage and screen and big screen and small screen and music and performing. And she is just a powerhouse, and I absolutely love her. And now I'm really excited to go see her show. All right. That is the show for today. That's the show. That's the show. It's time to go away. I really didn't write or rehearse any of this, obviously, because I'm totally making it up as I go along, which I know you can't tell, but it's true. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for putting up with me randomly breaking into song for the Schmigadoon episode. I love Schmigadoon. Go watch it. We need to talk about it. I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed. Also, go watch The Sound with Mark Ronson. So good. So good. All right. I love you. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week. Watch these videos. All the videos are always up on the socials. Go and watch them. Go to popcultureweekly.com for all the latest blogs, posts, and reviews and all that stuff. Oh, and videos. Otherwise, see you next week because we out.
Thank you for listening to Pop Culture Weekly. Hear all the latest at popcultureweekly.com.
That was our show for today. I hope you liked it. And that's our show. And that's our show.